Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Come on into the VIP lounge, make yourself at home. Artisanal sodas and adult beverages on the bar. Sip what works for you. And ironically, our casino wisdom today was don't drink alcohol and gamble or be properly prepared. But we're not doing any gambling here. We're just telling stories. And earlier I did tell you some of my tricks for being properly prepared. I have a great story about being prepared in action. And right up front, don't try this as a beginner. This is a master's degree level of preparedness here, folks. And probably, in a moment of honesty, a little bit of dumb luck. But anyway, several years ago, I'm at the top of the Caesars reward system, which I think I told you. And as the winter holidays are starting, I've got a comp available for airfare for two and like 5 nights of hotel at any of their properties. But I've got to make a commitment before January 10th, and I've got to fly before March 31st. And my youngest son is in high school and competing in a winter sport at a high level. So traveling before the state finals, it just isn't going to happen. So this is the second weekend in March through the end of March. Mrs. TRG and I are not going to leave him home alone so we can take a vacation. And we're not going to take him out of school to sit bored in a hotel room in a casino. So Mrs. TRG says, hey, why don't you see if our oldest son wants to go somewhere near the end of March? He's going to turn 21 before then. So over the holidays, I show him a map of all the properties and ask if he's interested in any of them. Well, while he hadn't been there while of legal age, he'd been to Las Vegas a couple times. He'd been to Atlantic City. And he's a history buff. So he wants to go to New Orleans, and his spring break is the last weekend in March. So I got to tell you, if you're a father and your son who just turned 21 wants to spend spring break with you in New Orleans, you take that offer. The fact that it's free is a bonus, but still, your 21-year-old son wanting to do spring break with you, that's cool no matter what the reasons. Conveniently, the 2 weeks before, everything for me at the local casino was great. You know, over the course of 2 weeks, 6 weeks pay. So the normal gambling bankroll goes in the safe. It gets left behind. And half the winnings for those 6 weeks gets left in the safe because I've been planning ahead for this trip. And off to NOLA we go with the equivalent of 3 weeks pay in my pocket. And I'm really just interested in having fun with my kid, and I don't care if we spend it. I don't care if we lose it. I don't care if we spend it on ridiculous stuff. I'm thrilled to just have the opportunity. So the first day, he's setting the itinerary. We get there early. We do a bunch of sightseeing. We get some dinner. We get cleaned up. We go out on Bourbon Street. Objectively, I'm going to say we didn't really overconsume. We certainly didn't overconsume by Bourbon Street standards, but we certainly did consume. And so as we're coming back into the casino on the way to the hotel, I say to my son, hey, do you want to stop and have a drink while I play some cards? And he's like, no, you don't need to buy me another drink, Dad. And I laughed and I said, if I'm playing, the drinks are free. And he's like, wait, mine too? And I'm like, yes, number one, son, yours too. So I play a bit, and he enjoyed the freedom of being 21, not far from the elevator to his hotel room, and having a waitress happy to bring him free drinks. Nothing too extreme. He didn't 21 overdo it. He had a few, and he decided he was going to call it a night. And I should have joined him, but the table was rolling, and I hate leaving when I'm winning, and particularly when I'm winning with house money. So, did I mention long day? Hot sun, a lot of sightseeing, a lot of walking, plenty of food, plenty of drinks. From my point of view, folks, I nodded off. The next thing I clearly remember is looking at a table piled full of neatly stacked chips in appropriate amounts. The $500 chips were in piles of 10. The $100 chips were in piles of 10. The $25 chips We're in piles of 200, just exactly the way I do it. And the floor boss says, oh, you're fully back with us. A lot of people hate you. And I was like, why? What did I do? What did I do? And so I'm counting this large pile of purple and black and green chips. And I find out from the floor person that over the course of several hours, multiple people joined me at the table and lost bad while I'm half awake. And the boss says that it's the damnedest thing. Every time she was ready to ask me to go up to my room and call it a night, I would make exactly the right basic strategy play. And she quickly figured out my betting system, and I never left it. I never did anything random. I never made any mistakes. I just kept winning. I never missed a bet. I never missed a hand. I never made a wrong play. She had never seen anything like it. I had bought in with 3 days' pay, and I had won 6 weeks' pay. And that, my friends, is being prepared before you drink and sightsee and gamble. I know a great deal about casinos, and I want to learn more about casinos, and I am more than happy to learn from you. Got an idea, got a concept, got something you think that, fits in with what I do and how I do it, send an email to whatido@casinocombat.com. And if you have questions, send them to questions@casinocombat.com. That's it, folks. I appreciate you listening. I hope you remember that Casino Combat is spelled with a K. Obviously, I'm thrilled if you enjoyed it. I'd be way thrilled, way crazy, over the top happy if you decided to like, subscribe, and share. And I'd certainly be happy to take any dislikes that you think need to be levied, because I'd rather know than not know. If you think this is total garbage, show your friends the total garbage. Let them laugh at it too. Enjoy it together. Make up a drinking game, as I always say. Won't hurt my feelings. I won't mind. I have spoken. Everything you have heard here is true from a certain point of view. It's time for leaving. I hope you understand. I was born a rambling man.